Hey guys, long time no see. The first sit down video in 2023. Happy New Year guys. I'm so happy to sit down with you guys and just be face to face with you guys. It's been a long 2022. We're starting another new year with new videos. So if you're new here, welcome to this channel. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss these uploads. On this channel I do content about nursing and also lifestyle. So if you are interested in relocating from your country to the US, or even if you're in the US already, please join this family because it's going to be fun here. So today guys, I want to sit down with you guys and talk about schooling in the US. Now this is a topic that, to tell you the truth, I had to research because I don't have a kid myself yet. So I had to do my research and make sure that I'm telling you guys what is the right thing. So a lot of people keep inboxing me telling me they are worried about their kids and how their kids will come to start another school life here and all that, and I had to go do my research and come up with this video. So if I leave out anything and you are here and you come to the US and already registered your kid, your baby to school, and I leave out something, please feel free to share in the comment. Feel free to share your experience. It will help someone. So without further talking, let's start this video. So we're gonna talk about school enrollment for your child in the US, and I'm gonna be looking down because I had to write down these things because I had to do my research. So if you see me looking down, they are just things that I did research, and I just want to make sure I don't miss anything. So generally here, kids begin school at 5 years. So if your baby is 5 years or your baby is going to be 5 years, now this might be different with every district, but every district has a birthday cutoff for determining if your baby is ready to begin school. So it's generally 5 years, but every district has their own regulation that they deal. Now we're gonna talk about the three levels of schools that the three levels of schooling that we have in the US. Now the first one is elementary or primary school. If you are example in Kenya, if you are in Kenya, that's elementary to or primary school. This generally starts at 5 years up to 10 years old. So if your baby is 5 years to 10 years, they're gonna go to elementary school or primary school. This is usually kindergarten through to 5th grade. So if your baby is 5 to 6 years to 10 years, that is the category of schooling they will you will expect your baby to begin with here. Now if your baby is 10 to 14 years, the second category is the middle school and is also called junior high. So if your baby is 10 to 14 years, that's the category your baby will come to start here with. It's usually grade 6 to the 8th grade. Yeah, so that's the second category. The last category is high school or senior year. Senior high, senior year, yeah, high school. So if your baby is 14 to 18 years, that's the category they will fall in. So you expect when you come here, your baby will be in senior high or high school. So let's talk about schedules. When I was doing my research, I found this very interesting because when I was young and all through my schooling, the school schedule of Kenya, like the time that we entered school and like for the day, the time that we get to school and come back home, it is crazy. I feel like kids here are so lucky. Their scheduling is quite nice. If this is the research that I did, if this is what happens, because I don't have a kid yet, but I think that's what happened, because when I'm off duty, I usually see the time that most of the students go and come back on this apartment complex. So I think this is generally what happens in most states and in most school districts. So schedules in the US, the school year, depending on where you live, begins in August or September. So as like back in our country, the school years usually begin in January. Here it begins in August or September. That depends on where you live. It will not really that it will start in October or something, but between August and September, that's when the school year begins. And then the year ends in May or June, depending on when it begins, where you live. So kids here, I feel like they go to school during this cold season. And when it's summertime, the school year is finished. They are going to have a break, which is very cool, because they are busy going to school when the temperatures are a little low and there's no much fun outside. And during the summer, they let them go to enjoy the summer. It's very nice. So that's what made me intrigued about the school system here. And then they say the average school day is 6.5 hours. That's 6.5 hours to 7 hours, usually with different levels having slightly different schedules. So imagine you go to school for 6 to 7 hours, and the elementary school, they begin their day differently on a different hour. The middle school begin their day on a different hour. The high school kids, they begin their day on a different hour, which is very nice. And guys, just listen to this. The elementary school, they start their day at 8 a.m. and to 3 p.m. 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. guys. How cool is that? We used to wake up at 6 a.m. to go to school and come back. At least when we were at that level, I'll say the nursery school, like back in Kenya, and we used to go a little bit late and come back early. That was better. But these days you see kids outside on the road at 6, and they're in baby class going to school. That's crazy for a baby. So the schedule here, I think, is so fun. 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. that's when your baby will go. I think they'll have, especially if you are like, you work from home or you're a stay-home mom or something like that, that will be so nice on the baby's schedule, because you'll only need to wake them up at around 7, prepare them, and they get enough sleep. So then the middle school start their day at 8:30 to 3:30 p.m. Very nice. At middle school, We used to wake up at what? I remember at my age, that time, we used to wake up at even 3 a.m. because my parents were working. We had to go to school. Sometimes we don't have anyone to remain at home doing the house chores. So we used to wake up that early to do house chores, make sure everything is in order before we prepare and go to school. And guess what time we come back home? 5 p.m. It's crazy. So I think this schedule is so nice. 8:30 to 3:30 p.m. for middle school, that's so nice. And then high school, they generally go to school at 7:45 p.m. no a.m. to 2:25 p.m. Guys, in high school, what time did you used to wake up? We used to wake up at 5 a.m. Going for prep, going back to sleep at even 12 p.m. I think they have the best school life. I don't know if that's the case. I have not schooled in the US, but this time schedule is perfect for me. If I were to school here, I think my life will be very exciting because I'll have as much sleep as I need. So yeah, that's the school schedule for students here in the US. And one big challenge that usually is there, I see most of these schools, especially the because we're gonna go through the kind of schools that are here in the US, like back at home we have private, public, so we're gonna go through that in a little while. But most of the schools here in my district, I see some of the parents, they drive their kids to school. Others, they take the bus. The buses take them and drop them at different points, so you have to be there when your baby is being dropped, which is nice. But if you don't have such kind of arrangement, you have to make sure you know how your baby will get to school in time. So if you have to drive them, make sure you're there to drive them. If you have to pick them up, make sure you're there to pick them up. If they are going by bus, make sure by the time the bus is there, you're there with your baby. When the bus comes or goes, you're there to pick up or put your baby onto the bus. So I think that's a main challenge that parents usually encounter here. So if you're coming here, just make sure you know, are you going to be taking your baby to school? Are they being picked up by the bus? Are they walking to school? Just make sure you have those logistics in place. Yeah, that's one challenge that I think most of us will have when you have a baby or when you have to take your baby when you come here. Types of schools, that's what we're gonna go through next. Type of schools. Okay, this is kind of the same. Here we have public schools. The good news about public schools here, public schools are free. So they say what? Most students in the US attend public schools because of course they are free. They are free to attend, supported by local, state and federal tax dollars, and the government by local and state governing bodies. School service a certain zone address, meaning your student will attend the school in your home district or zone. So if you are going to put your baby in a public school, of which I don't see the schools that I have seen kids go to as public schools, they don't look bad. I don't think they are bad. and they are free. So most of the people here in the US, they take their babies to public school. So, and they are being funded by the local, state, and the federal tax. So the bad thing, or maybe the disadvantage of the public school, is your baby needs to attend the school that is in your home zone. So you can't take, let's say you are in this county and take your baby in another county. So your baby will need to attend the school in that district, in that home zone. So you can't say, oh, the school on the next county is nicer than this one, so I'm gonna take although I live here, I'm gonna take my baby to another school that is the neighboring home zone. No, that will not work, because here your address is something very important, and your address will always betray you. So if you are in this home zone and your baby stays with you here, you gonna take your baby to the home zone that your school is in. And if your school is ranked among the bad schools, or you just gonna take your baby there. So when you come here, make sure as you're looking for an apartment, look at your home district, whatever, and also look at the schools around there. What is their rating? Do you want your kid to go to a school that has a bad rating, bad history? No. So those are some of the things that when you come here, if you have kids, make sure you consider as you're looking for your apartment. Yeah. Another category of schools is private schools. Private schools, back at home, they are the schools, the group of schools, and they're usually expensive. The posh kids go there. But here, usually these private schools are run by organizations or churches. Only about 10% of students attend 10% of students in the US attend private school, and tuition money is required to pay for attending. So you pay. If you need your baby to go to a private school, you're gonna cough something out of your pocket. So just make sure you know that if you are that parent that you want your baby to go to a private school, you're gonna pay some cash. Yeah, private schools. Another category of school is charter schools, and I'm gonna read this. Free to attend, and they are connected to public school system, but funded primarily through private source, like tech companies. If there is one in your area, it will require a special application and possible waiting list. So if you have a charter schools, I think, according to my research, I think charter school is better than a public school. So it's also free to attend, but your baby has to meet some qualification. Some of them might be, do your baby have any sports that they are good at? Some of them will be, they take like exams to get them into the school, and you'll be probably put on a waiting list. So your baby can't just come and get in. They will put you on a waiting list, and you have to wait for your space or a chance to get into a charter school. So if you see such requirements, it means that it could be better than public school. Yes, it's free, but I think it's better. That's according to performance or things like that. Another category of schools that we have here is the choice school. Now, I'm also gonna read this. The choice school is, some school districts allow parents to choose the public school instead of attending the school you are zoned for. While this is not available in most areas, if you see this as an option, it will require an application for special approval to attend a school in a different zone. Okay, so this is whereby maybe your home zone allows you to choose whichever school that you want your baby to attend. Maybe let's say you're living in this county or you're living in this home zone, and you realize that the next home zone or the next district has a good school, better than the one that you have in your school zone. So if this your home zone allows you to choose a school from outside, from another zone, you gonna make an application to that school and maybe meet some requirements, and your baby has to meet some requirements like academic requirements and all that, and then your baby can go to that school. So those are called choice schools. Now I don't know if choice schools are free, but I know that if people will prefer to go to a certain school as a choice school, then in my mind I think that maybe that school will be in a good school district, performing better than other schools. Maybe the students are well taken care of, it is safe there. So many things to put into consideration, because you can live somewhere that you feel okay, but it might not be safe for your babies. The school might not be performing well with your babies, because crazy things happen in schools here. I mean crazy. Sometimes I drive around, not that much, but there are places that you just pass by and you just don't even want to live there. So yeah, you might really need to see where your baby is going. Recently it's crazy that in the news, was it yesterday or the other day, there's a 6-year-old who shot a teacher. Guys, 6-year-old. At 6-year-old, especially back at home, kids are so innocent, like they know nothing. Like all they know is playing around with their toys, discovering the environment, just having those magic thinkings and all that, and just being kids. But here, a 6-year-old, I don't know how they knew how to operate a gun. I don't know how they got a gun, and I don't know how they got into the school with a gun and shoot a teacher. I mean, the world is going crazy. So you really need to know where your baby is going, and also I think you just pray for them, because it's crazy how the world is turning out to be. And I feel bad for the parents of the kid, and also feel bad for the kid, because I don't think a 6-year-old knows the extent of what they've done. Because what is a 6-year-old? It's a baby. Yeah, so I don't know. Yeah. Okay, let's go to the next category. Another category of schooling is homeschool. Homeschool, I'm very sure you've heard of it. It's a term that is being thrown out in many places, especially back at home. Those are the rich people who homeschool their babies. But now let's read about homeschool. Homeschool is the option that will mean you are at home teaching your student or your baby. Your student will still need to be registered with the state or local school district. The same education standard will need to be met. This option is more uncommon and potentially unrealistic. So I feel like homeschool is seriously for the rich people, because you need to meet the same standards that the school will meet. So it means you have to have a dedicated place like classes for your babies. You need to have the curriculum in place. You need to have, if be it the charts, you need to have the schedule in place, Everything that happens in school is basically being replicated in your home. So, do you think you can homeschool your baby when you come here? I don't think so, because if you have the money to do all that, good for you, but homeschool is an option if you want to homeschool your baby. And mostly it's the parent who will do it, or they gonna hire someone to homeschool their kids. So those people will come into your home environment and basically carry the school to your home, and that's money. Yeah, so that's another option if you want your baby to be homeschooled. And I feel like homeschooled kids could be lonely. Imagine if you are an only child and you're being homeschooled, then you don't get to experience the interaction with other kids, those fun moments of play and all that. Yeah, but that's an option here. It's uncommon, but people do it. Alright, so we are done with the categories of school. Now we're gonna go into the most important thing, because whether you like it or not, if you come to the state, the schools will be there. There will be these options, but this is the most important part, so that you don't leave out anything or come here and forget things at home and start making arrangements on how you'll ship them here in the US. This is the paperwork part. Now, ensure your paperwork have been translated to English. So if you come from a Spanish-speaking country and your babies are attending schools in Spanish, their report forms are in Spanish, make sure they are being translated to English, because the US is majorly an English-speaking whatever nation. Yeah, so the first paperwork is birth certificate. Birth certificate is a must. You don't want to come here without your baby's birth certificate. And this is, I think this one, I don't know unless you do what, but the birth certificate is like required in a lot of processes that will make you even come here. So you don't need to forget this. If you forget this, I don't know, that's one paperwork that you will need. Another paperwork is proof of guardianship. If you're not the biological maybe parent of that baby, or that's not your baby, all that. It's your baby, you're taking care of them, but you didn't give birth to them, maybe you adopted them and all that. You need to have those paperwork. That's the proof of guardianship. Proof of residence, this you will get it once you come here. When you like sign a lease, like when you come here, you need a house. So if you sign a lease, that can act as a proof of residence. It shows that you are living at that address, because when you come here, everyone has their own address. So proof of residence, like a lease, or utility bill, like if you pay an electricity bill, that can show that you live in that address, and that can show proof of residence. So that one should not stress you back at home. When you come here, you get your proof of residence. Record of immunization, very important. If you are taking your baby through immunizations back at home, keep those records. You'll need them here, so it's very important. Then you'll have a common district or specific application. Those are the forms you'll get here. So when you come here, before you take your baby to school, they will give you a application form to fill out, which is usually the protocol to so many things. Even if you go to a hospital, you need to fill up your information and all that. So it's just common. You'll be given an emergency contact form. It's just common in case your baby has a problem and all that. People, or they can't reach you, they just need emergency contact that they might call in case you're not available. And then you're gonna need your former school records or report cards. So carry your baby's report cards, any form of school records back at home. Bring them. The transcripts, bring them. The syllabus, special needs documentation, carry all of them and make sure they are in English. I'll be listing this thing on the screen too, because I might be talking so fast, or you can replay this video and write down these things. I hope you have pen and paper, guys. And then you will also need teacher recommendation from home. Let teachers recommend how your baby is good, how your baby is well behaved, an all-round student and all that. You need a student recommendation. So guys, that is it, guys. I did a lot of research on this topic. I don't have a baby and I haven't taken anyone to school here, so I had to literally go to class for you guys. But I hope this information will give you insight on how to prepare for your baby's arrival here and their education here. The good thing is you don't need to carry a lot of money, school fees, because you can get into a public school that is very nice. All you just need to do is do your research. Make sure you get a house in a good school district, all those good things, and you'll be okay. So these are the main things that you need to know about schooling here in the US. I hope it helps someone. I hope it gives you a perspective on what to expect. And yeah, that is it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I've tried to put it into perspective as I can, and I know that it will help someone. Otherwise, guys, happy new year. I'm looking forward to many more sit down videos with you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. So until next time, goodbye.